Welcome back to Skill Savvy DIY. I'm Russ Jones, and today I'm taking a close look at a brand new welding machine, a TIG machine. Arccaptain reached out to me, was wanting to know if I'd be interested in reviewing one of their TIG machines. And I took a look at everything they had. They asked me which one would I like to review, and of course I'm looking at their upper end. So I decided on the Arccaptain 200p AC/DC. One is something that could weld aluminum. I've heard good things about this welder, so we're going to see firsthand how good this is for the price of it. We're going to start by showing you everything that came with it. Let's do it. So I'm not much on unboxing, but I will tell you this thing came very well boxed. It came a box inside of a box with very good packaging, and as you can see, everything arrived in perfect shape. So when I said I don't really care for unboxing, I meant it. I've actually been welding with this thing, but I figured I need to show you what all it does come with. This is the machine itself. This is the Arccaptain TIG 200p AC/DC TIG machine, and I will go over later how to use all these different settings, but it comes included with a TIG torch, with a whip. There's a torch, that's a 26 torch. Now that jumbo cup and this gas lens right here and this, I added that, but it does come with cups. It comes with the collets and things like that to get you started. It even includes a 1/16 tungsten. I have a 332nd in there now. That's my preferred tungsten. Now that torch is not a flex head. I do like the protective sleeve that's on there. Alright, now this is the foot pedal. I like this foot pedal. It's really smooth. I've already welded with it. It's easy to hold in a certain position, but I do like that one. Now it's my understanding, don't quote me on this, but I think you have to buy that separate, or I think they actually offer a kit to where it will come with it, but it costs more, or you can get it without it, because this thing will also weld with just this trigger here. This is for your upslope and your downslope. Now there is a stick whip. I don't have it by me right this minute. You'll see it momentarily. We're going to be doing some stick welding. There's also an adapter right here if you want to convert it to 120 volts. Here is the ground clamp and cable. Just your typical suspects when you buy these type inverter machines. But also it comes with a flow meter. This is a regulator and flow meter, and that's about it. That's everything that came with the machine. It's got everything that you need to get started right away. The only thing you gotta have would be electricity and argon to TIG weld. Now let me tell you, I have really been putting this machine through its paces. Already I've tried some 1/4 inch aluminum, and I've been playing around with the different frequencies and all, and we're going to do some more right here in just a few minutes, and we're going to play with the frequencies, and I'm going to explain to you what frequencies you should use for thicker aluminum or thinner aluminum and things like that. Now my son come over the other day, and I had some 1 inch, and I let him practice with some 60-11 rod and also some 70-18. Now he knows how to run 70-18, but he also ran the 60-11. He hasn't had a lot of experience with that, and I taught him how to run that in the vertical position, downhand, overhead, and such as that. And let me tell you, this little machine is doing a really good job. All right, let's power it up. The switch is on the back upper top here. It'll take it a moment to boot up. Fan comes on when you first turn it on, then it will go off. And that's one thing I love about this machine. It actually has fan on demand. Now let me tell you, we really put this thing, like I said, through its paces, and that fan cycled on and off. It did beautiful. Not once did we ever kick the duty cycle out. It does have a 60% duty cycle, which technically means you can weld continuous for 6 minutes out of 10 minutes. And most rods will not even allow you to weld 6 minutes continuous. So with that being said, 60% duty cycle proves to be perfect in this environment, garage, shop, things like that. Now, as you heard, that fan just kicked off, and it won't kick back on again until it actually needs it. So let me show you quickly some of these functions here. All right, right now it's set to MMA, which is stick welding. That proper name for that would be manual metal arc welding. Now, I don't know when it went to MMA. Shielded metal arc welding is the proper term for that here in the US. I don't know if that's overseas thing or what, but regardless, that stands for stick, and you do have stick functions. This is arc force. Now, this is something my other machine does not have, and typically what this does, it'll let you go way up. Typically what it does, if you got a rod like a 60-10, let's say, most of these inverter machines have a hard time with 60-10, just the nature of the rod, the flux makeup, but they do great with 60-11. But you can take that arc force and you can set it different things. Like for 60-10, I would probably go somewhere between 6 and 9, and what that does, it will sense that the arc is trying to go out, and it will add more amperage to it to keep your arc initiated. Now, that's something my other machine does not have. We go here. This is hot start. That's something else my machine doesn't have. Now, I had this at 0 the other day, as you just seen, and it really didn't need it, you know. But what this is for, you can add an extra 5 amps or 10 amps or more when you first strike an arc. It makes the machine hotter to where it starts easier. Then it goes down to your preset amperage. What you see right here is 95. So it also has AC TIG. This is your parameters for your aluminum welding. Now, it's on AC TIG, and the way you would do this, you got to, this knob right here is critical for doing all your settings. You press in, you keep rotating this until it says AC hertz. Press in, then you can adjust your hertz. As you can see, I welded that the other day at 60 hertz because it's thicker. It's 1/4 inch. 60 hertz will allow that weld to lay flatter and penetrate deeper. Now, if I wanted this to, I'd go through it again. If I had something like 1/8, let's say, I would probably bring that all the way up to about between 100 to 125, 120 more likely. And you can just play with that hertz. So we're going to get into that here in just a moment. Okay, AC balance, press that in. I've got it set at 30% balance. So there again, everything's done through this push button here. And it just takes a little getting used to. Okay, let's see, we also got DC TIG. This would be normally what you would weld everything else with. It could be stainless steel, carbon steel, copper nickel, nickel copper, Monel, Inconel, all those metals can be welded on this DC TIG. All right, now 2T, if you're using your foot controller, you would have this on 2T. And that way you can adjust your amperage through that. Now, it also has 4T, and that is for your finger button, and that's where you would set your parameters for that. There again, you would hit this, and you can back this all the way up to the first one. It changes fast, but this is all your parameters. You'd set that one, then you would go to the next one, the next one, and all this is in the manual. But it's your upslope and your downslope. It's also where you time your pre-flow and your post-flow. That's done through that. All right, now this is for your pulse, yes or no. Same thing, if you want to go in here and adjust your pulse, you'd hit the yes, you would hit this, and you would use this. This is your time that you pulse. This is I can't really say your percent down and so on. Like I said, all this is in the book. I'm not going to go through all that, but it does work. I played around with that as well. Let's just go to no. I personally don't use pulse much unless it's something really, really thin. One thing I forgot to show you, it also has a spot function. That's for spot tacks. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I've got to play around with that more and dial in my amperage. And you got to have real thin material like sheet metal on a car, and you can easily do this, and I'll show you that as well. I want to show you this hood that they also sent me. This is an electronic hood. It came with an extra clear lens. It's got a high definition lens in this, and let me tell you, I normally wear a cheater lens, but I'm actually able to see pretty good without the cheater lens. They go from a number 4 all the way up to a number 13, and right now I have it on number 10. Okay. Alright, now I'm actually going to put my other hood on, even though I can see pretty good with that one. But I'm 67 years old, and that cheater lens really helps me out. I'm going to look to see if I can find one for that hood. So I'm going to swap over and grab a 718. I'm going to finish out what my son did here and then bring a pass all the way up. Let me show you the settings on the machine. And for all you new welders, anytime you do TIG, you want to be DC electronegative. This is your negative side. There's a negative symbol here. So your torch would always go on the negative side. Your ground would go on the positive side. But we're getting ready to do stick, so we're going to take the torch out of here. Just gonna let that hang. We're going to take our ground and swap it over here to the negative side, and now I'm going to be DC electropositive. Let me get my whip. I'm just going to use the whip that came with this machine. Try it out. There we go. I'm set at 95 amps. That should be about right for a 3/32 7018. Now, I have not had these rods. They're brand new. I just opened a pack the other day. Did not put them in a rod oven or any kind of oven to warm them up, so might be a little spatter due to any moisture that might have got in those rods. All right, it's going to be hard to work around all these cameras, but that's what we can do here. Might have to turn this a little bit more to me. Hopefully you still be able to see the arc shot. All right, I'm just going to continue where he left off, right in here. Okay, now I just want to drop down in here and start running some straight up. I don't know if you just heard that fan cut off, but like I said earlier, it goes in and it goes out as it's needed. Alright, I kind of moved things around a little bit to where I can get a little bit more comfortable. That's one thing about welding. You have got to be comfortable. Start up high, drag it down. Yeah, that ain't bad. Man, for a machine that don't cost no more than this, that does pretty darn good, I think. There it is right there. And keep in mind, these are Harbor Freight welding rods. There's nothing special about them. One day I'm gonna break down and get me some Excalibur rods, but this is just playing around. All right, I've got a couple pieces of stainless steel, 316L stainless steel. Don't look at the fit up. I was more worried about the weld fit up. I know this is cocked. I ain't trying to fit a perfect piece of pipe here. That wasn't the goal. The pipe wasn't cut real square, so I'm working with what I got. I did grind a bevel on this, and I went ahead and prepped the inside, cleaned the outside, and I am running a back purge. This I don't know if you can see this hose or not, but anyway, this goes into the back of my turntable here, and I've got my dual argon gauge on. That way I'm able to purge. So I've already got the root ran up to here. I'm gonna go ahead and carry it on up. Doing good, but I tell you what, it's been about 4 years since I put a root in some stainless pipe. Back when I was actually working, been retired since 2021. Where I come from, we used a rheostat, a finger rheostat, and it was so handy you didn't have to be tethered to a foot pedal. Your control was right here. Here's a video of the one I got from my other machine. And Arccaptain, if you're listening, I would highly recommend you come out with your own version of this, because you can't always use a foot controller to control amps. A lot of times you might have to be up on a ladder or up under a vehicle, and so when you have that rheostat right there at your fingertips, you can adjust your amperage on the fly. Yeah, not bad. Alright, so I got the root pass in. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down. There's a thing called inner pass temperature, and stainless is very critical to do that. That's just where you allow time for this to cool down to a certain temperature, and I just let it usually get cold to the touch, and then I'll go ahead and put the cap on it. And I'm debating if I should use a 3/32 rod on that or a 1/16. I did all this with a 3/32 on the root pass. I will attempt to show you the inside, but I doubt I don't have any way to do that, so might not be able to. I told you I would show you the spot welding. Here's the spot welding. It works really well. I had some 35 thousandths carbon steel, and I popped 4 places on that, and it did real well. Real thin material. And then I used the pulse function to see how that did. Now I still got to play with that. I didn't have my main amperage, my high amperage up high enough. I should have went up a little bit higher than that, but I had it set I think at 60 amps on the high end, and then it would drop to 40 when it pulsed. And it was welding, but it was a little on the cold side. I just didn't want to burn through that thin stuff, but I'm gonna have fun with that. You know, it definitely works and works good. All kind of parameters with it. And also I took some 1/8 aluminum and I went ahead and run it at 125 hertz. On the 1/4 inch I showed you, I ran 60 hertz. It's thicker. You need that lower hertz. Whenever you go to a thinner aluminum, you need to bring your hertz up. I run at 125. Seem to do pretty good. Overall, I'm very happy with this machine so far, but But I'll bring you back when I start capping this. By the way, I know I'll probably get a comment not wearing sleeves today. It's just this one weld. My skin's pretty much conditioned to it, and yeah, I know it's not good, but I don't do it that often. It's just kind of hot and muggy today. All right, we got the cap finished. I tell you what, like I said, it's been 4 years since I've done any pipe welding, and I'm capable of doing much better than this, but that ain't too shabby. It's been a while. My old eyes ain't what they used to be. Yeah, that thing definitely got a dog leg in it, but like I said, I wasn't trying to make a perfect fit up. I was just wanting to get a good fit up on the weld itself. Excuse the neighbors, we got a couple loud mouths over there. I hope they heard me. Well, I tell you what, I'm very, very pleased with this machine. For the price point, is incredible, but it does everything well. It did the aluminum well, it done stainless good, carbon steel. What else did I weld? Aluminum, stainless, carbon. I guess that's about it, because that's all I got rods for. Hey, not too shabby for almost 4 years. And that's the first, I mean, I didn't practice or anything. That didn't turn out half bad. It's like motor memory. Once you know how and learn how, you'll never forget it. You might get rusty at it, and that's my name, by the way, Rusty. But this is a fine little TIG machine. I think it's perfect for any kind of garage or shop environment. Now, I don't know about being a production welder like the big boys that are meant to run first shift, second shift, and third shift around the clock 7 days a week. I don't know if it could stand that kind of abuse or not, but it does come with a 5-year warranty, so you know. When you go to the website, I'll have a link for it. You'll see it, 5-year warranty. Out of all their machines, Arccaptain, out of all their machines, this is the only one with a 5-year warranty. I haven't dug into that warranty. I don't know what all it covers, what kind of stipulations or any of that. All I know is it says 5-year warranty. It doesn't say limited, it says 5-year warranty. So you can look into that. But if you're interested in this, I'll have links in the description box. I know it was a long video. I appreciate you hanging with me to the end, for those of you that did. And congrats to all of you that didn't click through the video and try to speed up to the end. I know there was a lot of them too. But anyway, I'm Russ Jones with Skill Savvy DIY.